Hi, everyone. My name's Jason Rochester, and I joined American Families United as soon as I heard about them. Because my family is probably just like yours. American Families United is the only national organization that specifically focuses on our problems. We are U.S. citizens married to people with immigration problems. There are at least 1 million of us, and we vote. All of us do. At least I hope we do. The highest priority for legal immigration includes the spouses and the kids of U.S. citizens. That's not a matter of opinion. It's the only numerically unlimited category. But Congress doesn't respect the rights of the U.S. citizens like us, like me, without being forced to choose between our marriage and our country. U.S. citizens are the most neglected constituent in the immigration debate. My family's case has attracted some national media attention lately. Let's turn that into some action in Congress. Please join AmericanFamiliesUnited.org.
President Trump talks about an immigration crisis in the United States. For many on the southern border, it is. But for others, just not in the way the administration characterizes it. Our Randy Kay tonight with a story of a separated family. They are not migrants, but for now, they are a house divided.
Jump, jump, jump.
Moments like these for 6-year-old Ashton Rochester and his parents are precious. But this togetherness in Mérida, Mexico, won't last long.
Miss my family, and it's very hard to me stay here without them, and I know they need me. So it's
Ashton's mom, Cecilia Gonzalez, lives in Mexico, but her husband, Jason Rochester, and their son live more than 2,000 miles away in Roswell, Georgia. When they got married 12 years ago, Jason knew Cecilia was undocumented, having entered the country illegally back in 2000, but wasn't worried. Then came campaign 2016 and Donald Trump.
But we have some bad hombres here, and we're going to get them out.
In the United States, were you afraid you were going to be arrested, or?
Yeah.
She was terrified of being profiled.
Terrified of being arrested in front of her son, Cecilia tried to make things right and got a work permit in 2015, effectively putting her on ICE's radar. So she self-deported nearly a year and a half ago, hoping to start the process of becoming a legal citizen.
All right.
Trouble is, she says her lawyer didn't explain that she couldn't return to the U.S. for at least 10 years, maybe even forever. That's despite being married to an American citizen with a son who is also a U.S. citizen.
We told him that Mommy would be home soon. But we lied. We hoped that she would. But it wasn't something that we could control.
Did you explain to him why she had to leave the country?
Mm-hmm. We told him.
Mommy made a mistake.
Yeah. Mommy made a mistake.
Cecilia felt she had to leave, fearing the policies of a president her own husband helped put in office.
You supported Donald Trump in 2016. Why did you support him?
I made the decision to vote for him for my moral values.
Jason was on board with the president deporting hard criminals, but says he never imagined Trump would target immigrants like his wife, Cecilia.
I don't even have a ticket, a traffic ticket, nothing.
And we didn't consider her to be a bad hombre.
Complicating matters, last year at just 5 years old, Ashton got kidney cancer. He needed surgery, then chemotherapy and radiation. He had to do it all without his mom at his side. She was refused entry to the U.S., even to be with her son during treatment.
It was terrible. Terrible to don't be with them in these hard moments.
He used to break down and cry. It was like, he'd say, "I don't think Mom's coming home." And I couldn't tell him any different.
Meanwhile, except for a few visits a year to Mexico, Ashton only sees his mom on FaceTime in the morning and at night.
My dream was take him to school, and I'm not able to do that, and it really breaks my heart.
You can't make him breakfast or take him to school?
I can't dress him. It's very hard to me.
Now back at work in Georgia, Jason is desperately trying to find a way to bring his family back together.
I miss you a lot.
I miss you too, baby. Hopefully we can make it work. I'd love to get you home soon.
And Ashton is working on it too. He and his kindergarten class sent this book of letters to the White House, lobbying Donald Trump.
This is what your class made?
It's like President Trump.
Ashton hopes the president reads his letter and that the White House answers his prayers.
First, tell me what the picture shows.
It's me crying,
There's the
and
tears.
I'm standing up, and there's tears with puddles. I want Mommy to come home. I miss my mommy.
Serenity, has the family heard anything back from the White House or anyone else?
Nothing at all, Anderson, from the White House or the president. In fact, when Ashton was sick and hospitalized, his father actually tweeted a photo of him and tagged President Trump, pleading with him to let his mom come and be at his bedside at least. No response, and no response since that book of letters from Ashton and his kindergarten classmates was sent to the White House. And also, Anderson, I just want to be really clear. Cecilia knows that she made a mistake. She said if she had a chance, she'd actually apologize to the president, but she says that her son needs her, and this is actually hurting him the most. Jason, the father, says that he doesn't want special treatment. That's not what he's looking for, but he does think there should be a better policy. He thinks people like his wife who are married to a U.S. citizen, have a U.S. citizen child, they have a job, they don't collect welfare, they've never committed a crime, should be given a priority and be allowed to figure out some sort of path to citizenship. He says this is destroying his family, given that Cecilia may never actually be allowed to enter the country legally ever again, Anderson.
Randy Kay, appreciate it. Thank you. Family divided.
A mother is back in her native Mexico after deciding to leave the country as she found out she could be deported. Her husband, an American citizen and a former Trump supporter, is now speaking out about immigration reform. And here is Jason Rochester. Jason, thank you for your time. What went through your mind when your wife told you, I'm going back to Mexico?
It was a sad moment. We were scared. We didn't want her to get arrested or deported, so we had to make a very difficult decision to let her go back. We didn't want to, but we felt like it was the right thing to do.
And Jason, you voted for Trump. How has your view changed since the election, specifically on his immigration promises during the campaign?
They've definitely been changed. I feel as though he lied, I guess would be the right word. He said that he was going to protect American citizens. I felt like he was going to be right for our family on the immigration policy, but it ended up that he got rid of, or wanted to get rid of, every undocumented person that was here, it seems as though. So yes, it's definitely changed. I'm disappointed would be the best word, I guess, in what he did and what he said he was going to do.
We're looking at pictures of your wife and your son. How difficult is it to be by yourself in this country knowing your wife is far away in Mexico?
It's hard. I love my wife. I love my son. We've been together for so long. Been married 12 years. My son has never been away from my wife until she self-departed. That was the first time, and that was very difficult. He's actually able to stay the summer with her in Mexico, which is a good thing. But he shouldn't have to go to Mexico to see his mommy. She should be here.
Jason, you're now advocating for immigration bill, for a reform, a bill that keeps families together. Can you explain what it is and what you're trying to achieve with this?
There's an organization that's called American Families United. They help families like mine that are American citizens that are married to undocumented immigrants. And the bill is called the American Families United Act, and it has actually been presented in the Congress for the past 3 years, but it has not gone through yet. And we're hoping to get that presented again. I would like to have the Congress or Senate or the presidential elects to look at the bill. And if you want to find out more, it's AmericanFamiliesUnited.org, and contact the president, Randall Emery, and he would love to talk to you about it.
You are one of the millions that voted for President Trump. What would you say to him after going through everything you've gone through, especially your son has a health condition?
I would say, Mr. Trump, you can fix this. Don't just ignore it. It is a problem. Immigration is definitely an issue. The American Families United Act is a path to fixing that problem. It's not something that should just be overlooked, because there's over 1 million families like mine that are either dealing with immigration issues and are married to an American citizen, or they are undocumented. And so that's 1 million people, at least. And there's a lot of also veterans and military servicemen that are also in the same predicament, but most of them will not say anything because they're afraid of losing their security clearance, or they're embarrassed. And that adds another level of stress for our service members, that they shouldn't have to worry if they're off to doing a mission. Do they have to worry about their loved ones being deported while they're not there?
Well, thank you, Jason, for talking to us, and I do hope that your family can be reunited again. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time. We all know that America needs immigration reform. So do U.S. citizens like me and you. One thing that I didn't realize until I reached out to AmericanFamiliesUnited.org is that my family is not alone. We have a national organization working for us, which has had legislation introduced into Congress, which has testified before Congress, and which works every day to get Congress, which works for us after all, to come to its senses and protect the rights of the U.S. citizens in our immigration laws. Please join us and help. AmericanFamiliesUnited.org. Thank you.